Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Maneaters series. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I've got an awesome guest here who I think you own a lot of the Maneaters series movies as is, right? Dustin Hubbard?
I do, definitely. I have a whole bunch of them.
Awesome. Dustin, I picked Dustin because Dustin has been on a bunch of my shows before, but like he's also very big into sci-fi movies and the cheesiness and everything. Um, so we watched and now we're reviewing Sea Beast. And Sea Beast is like a 2007 or 2008. I think it's 2007
Yeah,
movie.
around there.
Starring Corin Nemic and Miriam McDonald from Degrassi and the Next Generation. So two movie or TV stars, in this movie. Parker Lewis Can't Lose and Degrassi Next Generation. And they were fantastic together, you know? Like I thought they had the greatest chemistry, like as father and daughter. What did you think?
Yeah, they're both really good, honestly. It's kind of funny to look back at, where Corin started and then look at him where he's at, today, or at least where he was then, because around that time period, like he was like a go-to guy for Sci-Fi Channel movies. It was like him and like Dean Cain were in so many Sci-Fi Channel movies. And it's funny because if you were to watch like Parker Lewis Can't Lose or something like that, and you look at him, you're like, this guy would never be the guy to like top line a bunch of like weird monster nature amok type movies. But dude, that
Mhm.
was like that kind of became his career thing for a while. He's in so many sci-fi movies.
Yeah, and so this movie was about like a small sea, you know, I guess I don't know, was it a small? It's not island. They do have an island, but it was like
Mm,
a small town, like sea town, taken over
mm,
by these like I called them, and you're like, oh wow, that's a great title. Like it would have been a great title. I called them sea predators,
mm.
and it would have been a great title, but they chose Sea Beast, and I think I mean, it works, but I like Sea Predator. My other one was they called it a Sea Devil at one point, and I
Mhm.
know they ended up making a movie called Swamp Devil. So why couldn't they have just called it a Sea Devil? I don't know. Because that's what anglerfish were called, sea devils,
Yeah.
or whatever. And they are. Have you ever seen an anglerfish? Did you ever like look this up to see what they look like?
No.
Let's see if I can find I can show you on here because it is honestly the ugliest fish. They look worse than piranha. They look like and these are real fish. This isn't like a made up like you can see that. That's just I don't know if that's just drawing or not, but like I saw them on video and they were ugly looking and they were
Yeah.
not they were scary looking. And
Yeah.
so they picked this like kind of fish and then it made it kind of invisible, you know? So it was like,
Yeah.
like it could like go invisible if it wanted to or something. And I thought, okay, so it's going with the predator feel to
Mhm.
it. And then but yeah, it was not it wasn't even in sea. Like most of the movie takes place on land, and
Yeah.
these fish like actually go on land and like attack people. And
Yeah, they
I've
have like feet and they run around. And
it feels like something like something that sci-fi wouldn't even do because they think it would be too silly, But they did. You know what I mean? Like this was we have to remember this was pre Sharknado,
Yeah.
So like this was just like what can we do to make something really goofy, you know, and create something fun. Since Sharknado, there's been crazier movies, I guess, but Arachnaquake or all these other weird titles.
Yeah.
But what did you when you watched this recently for the first time? What did you think?
It's actually really fun. I like Corin Nemic, and it's kind of a typical tale, but the monsters, honestly, some of the effects are kind of silly with the the cloaking of them being invisible and stuff, but they're cool monsters, and there's some pretty neat practical effects too with them that are actually pretty effective. So I had a lot of fun with this movie actually.
Well, the funniest thing I thought was when they saw, like, when they first introduced it and you see it sort of, like
Mhm.
kind of like sort of invisible, and he's like, something there. I think right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, in real life, I'm sorry, but in real life, if I saw something like that and
Yeah.
I could not tell what it was or whatever, I'd get the fuck out of there. I would
Yeah.
not. I would not be
Be
like,
Yeah, I
hey,
wouldn't be trying to figure it out. I'd be moving along too.
right.
So
I would not be like, I wonder what that is. Is that
yeah,
something, ooh, right? I would be like, okay, that thing looks like, what the heck? I gotta go, and I'd
yeah.
run. And that's the kind of thing that annoys me in these movies is like when people don't, it happens all the time, and when I write scripts, I try to stay away from that because I don't,
Yeah.
you gotta, the audience isn't stupid. The audience is
Mhm.
going to think about what they would do in the situation. And
Yeah.
then if it doesn't match what the person does, because the person's an idiot, you know, like, especially when the people aren't idiots and they do something like that, that's even drives
Yeah.
me bonkers. It's
Yeah.
like, who wrote this thing? I understand you have to have the character get attacked by this thing, but usually what will happen is the person will run, the thing will catch up and kill them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, but like, so I didn't understand that. And then Corin Nemic, my favorite death in the whole movie. And this is kind of sad because I like the woman, the old woman, but the woman who ran the sheriff's desk or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's just out there trying to tell the guy that the people will be there in a few minutes, and of course, all of a sudden the thing comes and takes off her head, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that was awesome. Like, that was
Yeah.
worth her coming out for just that death alone. Um, and
That's
then
something great. This movie has a huge body count. Like they kill a lot of people.
some of them you don't actually see them kill, and you saw like their
Mhm.
deaths, or whatever, which is kind of disappointing because,
Yeah. Sci-Fi
like,
Channel.
oh, I know. I guess also it's scripts,
Yep.
Like, you can't, I mean, you're not gonna just keep showing all these deaths because, like,
Mhm.
you got to get to the story, which I
Yeah.
understand, like, you want to get to the story, but you know, uh, that's the thing, you watch this movie and you're like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is going on?" or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed this a lot more the second time, I think, than I did the first
Yeah.
time. It's
Yeah.
like one of those movies that, like, because once you kind of know what you're in for, I think it even
Mhm.
makes it more fun. Because when I
Yeah.
first saw it, I thought it was about a movie about sea creatures I thought it was a sea creature. Uh,
Yeah.
if you want that movie, go watch Eye of the Beast. Um, which, so both of them are very kind of similar in the small
Yeah.
town gets overtaken by whatever. Honestly, out of Eye of the Beast or Sea Beast, I like Sea Beast better, you know?
Yeah. It's a better movie, I think.
Yeah. It's just, there's something about, I think it's about the writing, it's about the acting. I think Corin Nemic signed up so that he could look like he was smoking a cigar. You ever notice he never really smokes the cigar? He just like puts it in his mouth the whole time.
He just kind of bites on it and chews it.
Right. It's like, okay, so you're not going to really smoke. You just want to bite, the cigar.
Yeah.
You know, it's an actor thing too. I think actors really like to be doing
I
something.
was gonna say they like to have a lot of actors to like have a fascination with having a prop they can play
Yeah.
with. So
And I think
yeah,
that was his prop that he got to get
yeah,
to play with. And
that's sometimes a very very regular actor choice to want to have a prop. So he probably maybe he did want to have something something he could just kind of bite on and you know adds a
mhm.
weird level to his character. So
Well, also set up for the ending when he got to
yeah,
like smoke the cigar and set the thing on fire, which,
yeah,
I
and like
mean, that ending was so The only thing I don't buy is that he would have survived. No way.
He totally would not have survived, especially with he would not have survived.
It's not just he wouldn't have survived, but he like comes out of it at the end going, "Hey, why do you guys look so sad?" You know?
It's like he
think
survived literally to just come out and like crack wise.
I know, which was so weird. And unharmed. Like, I'm sorry, but if a thing blew up and you were in it,
he's completely unscathed.
No, he didn't have any I guarantee you my friend Mackenzie, who's a makeup artist in LA and has done stuff for the asylum, she would go nuts because she would be like, okay, come on. No, nothing here. No, some makeup has to be applied or whatever, but no.
He comes around the corner like he was just like chilling back there the whole time.
He probably was. Right? He's like waiting for his cue. Okay, it's my turn to come in there and do this. All right, I'm gonna walk in there.
The big sci-fi original star of the of the period. Like, we can't kill him, so
why not? I mean, I okay, as for actors absolutely love to die, especially if it's heroic death. So it should have ended with him dying. They didn't have to even show anything after that. Like they don't need a PS.
Maybe they didn't want to leave the daughter completely hanging because her boyfriend randomly gets killed, So
right. Okay, well, maybe the boyfriend should have came back, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would have, because you never see him, you see him get taken away.
Yeah, but just dragged up.
Yeah, but you never saw if he died, which
never seen again, so.
Well, yeah, he's never seen again, and on top of that, Corin and the girl that he was with, who I didn't like any of that stuff. Like, I didn't care for the kind of the love angle,
some of the weaker stuff.
Yeah, because it's just it just if they just had it where they're just friends, they were blah blah blah. They try to make it a little love thing, and I'm like, and I don't buy love stories that happen within one day. We did that. We watched that in Vipers. It doesn't make any sense. But in in this movie, it was just a throwaway thing. Like, they weren't making a big deal out of it, but it still just kind of was it's not even needed. The boyfriend and her love thing I liked more because I could tell sort of a little bit of their chemistry, and I could tell that they did a great job. And then Miriam McDonald, the other thing I didn't like is her reaction when she found out her boyfriend died. It was just a quick, oh my God, I'm so sad. And we got to keep going, right? And I'm
got an end to get to.
Your boyfriend literally just died, and you're like, okay, let's go. And no tears after that. So it was, I don't know. It was just, everything just happened too fast. And that might have been also a script issue.
It's very possible.
A lot of times the people just all of a sudden they're trying to put so much. I mean, if you think about it, they put so much into this,
And a lot of those kinds of things too, for channels like this, they're, things are written in a certain structure with certain beats to, you got to hit this point by this point, Sci-Fi likes to open with a zinger, They like stuff to happen at certain intervals, and they like stuff to wrap up at a certain point. So there's kind of an already pre-designed format with the way these scripts have to be written. So
yeah, I agree. And I actually was told the formula, by an ex former sci-fi person, and there is at least back then. And that was back in 2007 or 8 or whatever it was. Maybe it was 2010. But still, it's the same. It was the same formula throughout of it. And the whole idea was there has to be certain. They have a 8 or 10 act thing, because each act is like 10 minutes long because they have to go to commercials,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
exactly. So you can see me, right?
There you go. You're back.
Okay.
You're moving again.
You couldn't see me. You could hear me. Okay.
Yeah, I could hear you.
All right, good. So yeah, this sorry, this is gonna happen probably until we're finished. Every now and then. Stupid internet connection. I'm hoping later it's not a problem, when I move back to Virginia.
Yeah.
But here in LA, apparently my internet sucks. But so anyway, to go back to this stuff, there's a structure to it, and it has to get to the beats. It has to, I think every 10 pages or something, there has to be like a death at least, and it's got to be usually a helicopter. There was not a helicopter in this one, I don't think, but usually a helicopter, things like that. They just like things that have production value looking, or whatever.
There's always some kind of formula. I mean, there's a certain, I can say there was a certain thing I was, a certain project I was circling a while back to do a sequel to something that you can probably guess what it was. I won't say what, but that producer was like, okay, well, we got to have, this needs to happen here, and we need to have, there has to be this deaths, and there has to be this many sex scenes, and the sex scenes have to last this length of time.
What?
Wow. Like, okay.
I mean, if it works, I mean, whatever sells,
Yeah, everyone's got some kind of a formula they want. So some people or entities' formulas are a bit more detailed.
I gotta start thinking of my formulas for my movies, whatever, and then make sure that all my movies follow that same stupid formula.
There you go.
If it works, if it starts selling, that's the thing.
Then boom.
Yeah, why change? If it's not broke, don't fix it. That kind of thing. Yeah, and so the Sci-Fi Channel is very big on that. I thought Corin Nemic did a great job, but once again, it was kind of a character I feel like he's played before for the Sci-Fi, and Miriam McDonald. I had not seen her in one of these, and so it was just nice to see somebody that I recognize from Degrassi, because I'm a huge Degrassi fan. I got into it through Kevin Smith being on Degrassi and stuff. So, but I adore it, and I've heard her voice on the phone. I was interviewing her. Was it castmate Cassie Steele, who was her roommate at the time. And Cassie, I asked Cassie a question, like, what's your favorite episode of Degrassi? And she was trying to think. And then she goes, Miriam, what's your favorite? Right? And I was like, that's awesome. It's like Miriam talked. We could hear her voice. And that was like the coolest thing in my world. I got 2 Degrassi members for the price of 1. And Miriam is amazing in this movie. I think she, it was, though, I mean, have you watched Degrassi The Next Generation ever?
I am not familiar with Degrassi at all.
Okay. Well, her character, Emma, is actually very much it's kind of like a grown-up Emma to me, the way she played it and everything. And I thought she did a great job. Because, I mean, for most people watching that Sci-Fi thing would go, oh my God, it's Miriam McDonald from Degrassi. Because at that time, I think she was at the height of Degrassi. I think 2007, she was still on the show. She was just getting into LA, Hollywood movies as well. So, she was still trying to do that. So I think people were going there probably to watch her do something new. And she did a fantastic job. Everybody did a good job. I mean, the boyfriend, I don't know who he was. I don't know if he's really gone on to do anything else. Didn't look familiar. Most other people, other than Corin and Miriam. I didn't really know anybody else.
I like the actor who played the sheriff, Gary Hudson. He's been in a lot of B movies over the
Okay.
years, but
He looked familiar.
yeah,
Uh,
he's one of those faces. He's been in like a million things, but I mean, very stock character though, so it's not like he did anything special.
well, I hated that line of like, I wonder if it's a, like they say it's a creature, but could be just a killer, or serial killer with a mask that's chopping off. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
seen one too many horror movies, and I'm like, are we making Sea Beast or are we making Scream ripoff?
Yeah.
Like the fuck. It was weird.
That
But
would have
like,
been a twist if it was a person dressed up like a sea creature.
oh man, dude, that would have been awesome.
Been very Scooby Doo.
Well, the cool thing about it was it wasn't just one sea creature or sea beast. It was like
Yeah,
uh
there were tons of them.
there were like 5 or
Yeah, there were
something.
like tons of little baby ones.
Yeah, little baby ones that were just like hopping around and
Yeah, because
stuff.
there was like the big one, and then like the baby ones were like on it and would just like hop off of its like back and stuff.
Is it wrong that I got kind of sad when they started attacking them, like when like they were attacking the sea beast, and I was like, "Oh, those poor babies!"
Yeah,
Like they don't know what they're,
the little practical effects ones, like they were pretty cute actually.
Yeah, and there's like one bit where he's like crying for like, for help, it's like, "Wah! Wah!" And they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, he's calling out for help." So Miriam starts stabbing him really hard, and I'm like, "Oh shit." Like I was like, "Man, I feel bad." It's like them stabbing a baby, you know? Can't hear what I'm saying. Well, this is great cuz I was just saying something great. And you can't hear a word I'm saying yet. Can you? Yeah, you can hear me now, right? Okay. Can you see me?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, no, I was saying like she started stabbing the was it the sea beast, and all I could think of was like it feels like you're stabbing a baby, right? And like I felt terrible for the poor sea beast that was just crying for his mama, you know.
Yeah.
He didn't know what he doesn't know what he's doing. He's like animals like that, they don't know. But they were sort of adorable at times. The
Yeah.
mama, man, she was badass. Um,
Yeah, she was a lot meaner.
yeah, I like the ending with all the eggs and stuff, and the idea that they had to blow it up to kill all
Yeah,
the eggs. But I was
sure.
kind of hoping there'd be like one egg left, and break at the end, and there'd be like one more sea beast they'd have. Nope. Ah, man, I was doing so well before this. Fuck. Ah. Okay, can hear you now.
Perfect.
Just saying, like I was just saying that like it would have been great if there's one egg left and it cracked, and then like they had one more sea beast to deal with at the end, and now like all of a sudden they're now sea beast hunters, and they can we'll take care of this, he's got this cigar. I don't like the whole idea of them being on the boat or whatever. I was just like, like
Yeah.
that
Felt
whole
like they had access to like a grounded ship and they're like, we need to figure out some way to use this. That's kind of what it felt like, honestly.
the producer is like, hey, we got to make this ship. We got the investor put put the money in here and he wants the ship being used.
Probably, yeah,
That
totally.
could totally work.
That's totally how some movies get made. So
I
it's like,
know.
hey, I got this. That's like how, like Tammy and the T-Rex was made. Like the producer had access to like a fucking robot dinosaur and he's like, can you make me a movie?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like someone could have probably been like, hey, I got a grounded ship.
Was the movie Bride of the Monster, where like he's like I've got it's got to end in a big explosion, He's got to do this, he's got to do that. I want to put my son in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm paying for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what? You know what you say as an indie filmmaker?
Okay.
I'll put your and you know what? Honestly, I've talked about this on Bride of the Monster when we did on Indie Film Cafe. I actually think he did a good job. I don't Tony McCoy was a good actor. Like his father may have put him in the movie, but I thought he did a pretty good job. I mean, he's no worse than anybody else in that movie, or whatever, except maybe he's a little worse than Bela Lugosi is a fantastic actor. But at that time, Bela Lugosi was at his worst. This movie, I mean, they had like Corin Nemic. I mean, I'm sure Sci-Fi Channel was just like, you know what? We've got like a 5-picture deal with Corin Nemic. We gotta put him in a movie. Let's put him in this one.
Yep.
Okay, I can't see you, so most likely you can't see me. Can you hear me? Nope. Ah. Okay, that sucks. Okay, now you're back, right? Hello?
Still no.
Okay, I can. Okay, now. Okay. We're probably gonna end this in a bit, but yeah, this is technology at its worst right now.
I will say some of those actors though, like Corin and like I said, Dean Cain and some of them, they were in so many movies for Sci-Fi Channel for a while. I almost feel like they were on contract for like multi-picture deals.
They had to have been. Like, I mean, it's not like they're not. I mean, there's other people they could have cast, so it's not like they could be like, you know what? Let's call Corin Nemic up and see what he's up to today. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you, it's got to be that way. So, I don't know. Funny how Miriam McDonald's never acted in another sci-fi movie. So I wonder, like, I guess she didn't get the deals. Sadly,
one and done.
maybe she was like, I'm done. Yeah, I'm maybe. Out. But I don't know why, because I thought she did a fantastic job in it, and I think it wasn't a terrible movie or anything. Actually, when I first saw it, I thought this was going to be terrible. I watched Sea Beast the same day I watched Croc, and I thought both movies were going to be terrible, and I was like very pleasantly surprised, by them.
Both those are actually pretty good.
I think most Maneaters of these, all these are pretty good. They haven't. I mean, doing this series right now, I haven't seen any that I'm like, ugh, this is terrible. But whatever. What would if you had to rate this movie out of 5? What would you give it?
Honestly, I'd give it like a 4. Honestly,
a 4.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 4 out of 5. Honestly, it's fun. It's never boring. It's got good acting. It's got like some fun, silly creature shit. I enjoyed it. Cool. I was not bored. So,
all right. So yeah, I would give it about a 4. Out of 5. I think it's just fun. It's goofy. I mean, if you take it like in the rating of like Sci-Fi Channel movies, you know what I mean? Like not like this isn't Citizen Kane. Maybe it's better. I don't know, because Citizen Kane to me is just okay. I mean,
what stuff's happening in this, which is probably more than can be said about Citizen Kane. So
yeah, I mean, Citizen Kane had some great stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, and all these like true like hipster filmmaker people are gonna be all upset that I'm saying this, because I watched Citizen Kane with my dad. We both got bored by it, and it's because it's just like, yeah, there's barely anything that happens. You're waiting for the ending, and you find out the ending, which I'm not going to spoil because it's not about Citizen Kane. But like, you find out the ending, you're like, like, did I need this movie to like, and it did cool. It did cool shit. I'm not gonna lie, like cool transitions and shots and stuff and cool neat tricks that they've never done before. But I mean, that okay, like that's great for but I don't think it's like, I think it's like voted as like one of the best movies of all time, and I'm saying nah. I wouldn't say Sea Beast is better, but I would say that I would probably watch Sea Beast before I'd watch Citizen Kane. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, totally. Same.
Yeah. It's kind of that's a bold statement right there. So Sci-Fi Channel, you should be happy.
That's like comparing apples to oranges, but still, like it's one's easily more enjoyably entertaining.
Exactly. Like I get more out of Sea Beast because of just pure pleasure.
Definitely.
So I think this might be something I'd watch like every other year or something. If I get bored or if it's on Sci-Fi Channel and just turn it on, I'm like, oh okay. Like that's the thing about Sci-Fi Channel that I like is that I can just turn it on and know that I'm gonna watch something that's just gonna make me just sort of happy. Like there's hardly a really bad sci-fi movie. I mean, there's been probably a few, but like those are very few and far between because once again, they have a formula and they're really good at sticking to it and making sure, So anyway, thank you, Dustin, for this. Stick around. And everybody, thank you guys for checking this out. Check us out next. We're gonna do this every 1st and 15th of the month until I guess the last in August. So thank you, and hope you guys enjoyed this video cast. All right. You can't hear me, can you?
Oh, now I can.
Okay. Thank you guys for checking this out, and hope you guys enjoyed this video cast. Bye.
Bye.